Hey guys, this is Doc. I'm over at my buddy Frank's shop. He's setting it up right now. It's going to be in Millington, Tennessee, and he's going to be open on February the 1st, and it's going to be called Nene's Comics. It's named after his wife, and so he's going to have, as you can see, some older stuff, some newer stuff. He's got some stuff against the wall, and eventually over here, all the way across, is going to have short boxes full of backstock. So, but anyway, I just wanted to give Frank a shout out because he was kind enough to let me come and film over here today. I'm trying to find a different place to set up. And overall, it's inside Abandoned Antiques in Millington, Tennessee. So it's a huge building. You can't miss it. If you miss it, you probably don't need to be driving. So, all right, so I'm going to go over the books that I bought today. This is going to be the second in a series of Doc's comic pickups. So, first up is Hexagon Bridge, number 5 of 5. This is the end of the miniseries. It was written and drawn by Richard Blake. And let's see if we can show you some of the artwork on the interior. Hopefully you guys can see that. And it's a story about a kid whose parents get lost in the time stream, and so it's kind of about time travel and the kid bringing her mom and dad back home. So like I said, that was Hexagon Bridge, 5 of 5. All right, the next book that I got was Superior Spider-Man number 3 by Dan Slott and Mark Bagley. This is Dan Slott going back to doing what Dan Slott does best. You've got your bombastic art there by Mark Bagley. This title has not really excited me all that much because it just seems like it's a rehash of what he's already done with the character. It's kind of like Dan Slott is treading water and going over things he's already done. So I don't know how many more issues I'm gonna hang with this title, but the Mark Bagley artwork, you can't go wrong with that. Peach Momoko ad for Ultimate X-Men, which is coming up in a little while. Based on what Ultimate Spider-Man did a couple weeks ago, I would definitely try to reserve that at your local comic shop. But that is Superior Spider-Man number 3. All right, and everything else I picked up today is going to be back issues. So I got Deathlock from the 1990s, issue 2. I got issue 3, which is Deathlock versus Doom, which was pretty cool. And this original series was drawn by Dennis Cowan. So I thought that artwork was always really neat when I was a kid. Deathlock number 4. This is all parts of a story called The Souls of the Cyberfolk. It was a 4-part story that went from Deathlock 2 all the way through issue 5. And I also picked up issue number 5. So, like I said, this was an interesting tale from back when I very first started collecting comics. It came out, looks like in 1991, and I started with Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man number 1 over here. I've got the gold copy on the wall, and that was actually one of my very first books that I ever owned. And then I also got Deathlock number 6, which is part 1 of 2 with Punisher in it. And I found issue 7, so that was that part of that pickup. All right, I also picked up 2 issues of Spider-Man 2099 that I needed. This was issue 17. It was talking about the Blood Sword. Rick Leonardi was still on the artwork at that time, and he stayed on the title, I want to say, for the first 2 years. And so there was just a few issues that I needed to pick up, and these, like I said at the top here, is from the local comic shop's dollar bin. That's why you've got the red up at the top. So I picked up all of these for $1 a piece, and this is issue 22, so it's another little gap filler that I needed. And the last set that I picked up this week so far, I've got Sacrificers number 6 that I had to go back and order. That it should be coming in, and I'm also planning on picking up the the Skybound version of Dracula by James Tynion and Martin Simmons. So I've got Morbius #2, which was a spin-off from the Spider-Man titles back in the early 90s. It tied in with Spirits of Vengeance and Ghost Rider at one point as well in the Rise of the Midnight Suns miniseries. So that's #2. Got #4. I couldn't find #3. I also found #5 and #6, where he's fighting the Basilisk. So that right there, guys, is what I picked up this week, and this is the new stuff. And my buddy actually said, as he was digging through his box, this is Morbius issue 1, which started it all off. Part 3 of 6 of the Midnight Suns, Rise of the Midnight Suns crossover. And there's issue 3, which also co-starred Spider-Man. Spidey was in 2, 3, and 4, I believe. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate your time. I hope you enjoyed. And I'm going to shut her off for right now, let Frank get back to work on setting his booth up here. But again, if you are in the Memphis area, come check Frank out at Abandoned Antiques at Nene's Comics, and he'll be ready for you starting February 1st. Thanks, guys. Hope to see you on the next video.